L. In today for both and Dan Hagen. Looking outside for today, we have not a bad fall day all across the north central Wisconsin region, seeing variable clouds, a little bit of a sun mix working into the area. Over in Eagle River right now, a mix of clouds and sun, temperatures at 47, and there is an east breeze driving in near 5 to 10 miles an hour today. Less breezy than the last couple of days, but we do have increasing winds on the way as soon as Wednesday. Looking out at radar and satellite, we are seeing some clouds crossing right through the north central Wisconsin region, seeing that band right there. Behind that, though, we are going to be having some clearing into overnight, so I am thinking overnight's going to be looking kind of similar to last night, mostly clear skies. Temperatures comparable to last night, down near 29, but we'll be having that breeze coming more out of the southeast that'll be driving in anywhere between 5 to 15 miles an hour into overnight, getting even more breezy into our Wednesday, and that will be with clouds on the increase during the day, so we'll be looking at mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures comparable to where we were today, up near 52 for those daytime highs. Now, coming on up is going to be our next weather maker as soon as Thursday. That'll be ahead of that line of clouds that's developing for our Wednesday, giving us that gray day ahead. And this is that system right here. This is going to be part of that moisture that's been pumping in off the coast, off of the Pacific, that's going to be making it to our area, but most of the moisture is going to trend to the south. So we're going to be getting a little bit of rainfall from this event coming on up as soon as Thursday, maybe a few showers sneaking in into Wednesday night, but the best of chance for rain will hold off until Thursday. And looking at that rainfall on the way, not a lot of rainfall at all. We are going to be losing most of that moisture by the time that the system crosses into Wisconsin. So look at Hudson, over an inch of rain, but in our area, just barely a few tenths of an inch, if that at all. So then looking ahead, we're dry after that, staying dry through the Halloween weekend, and we are going to be warming temperatures up to the mid to upper 50s Saturday, cooler on Sunday, and all the while during the weekend, look for those sunsets occurring near 5:45. Dan will have more for you coming up after the break. Stick with us.
Did you know that working with a professional realtor yields a 10% higher sales price than selling on your own? It can often be even higher. Professional realtors have vast resources to market your home, guaranteeing reach to the maximum number of potential buyers. Ready to sell? Visit upnorthmls.com to find a Northwoods realtor ready to serve you.
I have worked at Huffcore for the last 36 years.
Huffcore, closing the plant, moving production to Mexico.
I gave my life and my body to that place. Ron Johnson pushed through a tax law that rewards outsourcing. Companies can bring profits back from Mexico tax-free. And worse, Ron Johnson profited personally from outsourcing. He has doubled his wealth since taking office. Tell Ron Johnson to stop putting his profits above our jobs.
Get your outdoor projects done right with Menards. With the best selection of pressure-treated lumber and the inventory to back it up, now is the time to get that outdoor project you've been meaning to get to done. Best yet, we've made it convenient for you to get in and get out. Whichever the project, Menards has the pressure-treated lumber to get it done.
Save big money at Menards.
Your eyes, beautiful on the outside, but if you have diabetes, there can be some not so pretty stuff going on inside. It's true, with diabetic retinopathy, excess sugar can damage blood vessels, causing vision loss or even blindness. So remember this, now is the time to get your eyes checked. Eye care is important to your long-term diabetes management. See a path forward with actions and treatments that may help your eyes and protect against vision loss. Visit nowic.com and take control of your sight.
We're back on Up North at 4. I had to leave. I'm going to a wedding this weekend, and I left early for that. So I am just going to do some reruns for you, but they're some of our more popular segments. So today we're going to do the first 4 parts of our tour of the Langlade County Historical Museum. Then tomorrow we're going to finish that tour. We'll head up to Sainer and visit the Vilas Historical Museum for a tour up there. Then Thursday we're going to tour the Northern Waters Museum in Land O'Lakes. Friday, the Rhinelander Historical Society Museum. And on Monday, we're going back to the Merrill Historical Museum. But like I said, today, let's go to Antigo and visit with my friend Joe Hermelin. you've been watching Up North at 4, you know that we've had this How We Got Here series, and it's changed over the past few months. I used to be doing it through computer screens. Now we're actually going to museums. Today we are in the Langlade County Historical Museum, and it's also changed with the times. There's been a recent renovation that has totally redone the look of the interior of the museum. But we got to start on the outside of the museum because the building where the museum is located has some history just by itself. Okay, I'm right in front of the Langlade County Historical Museum with the Society's president, Joe Hermelin. Joe, it's good to meet you in person.
Yes, we've met online before, and it's great to see you in person.
And, you know, I always enjoy meeting a fellow skier.
Yes.
Joe has done 28 Birkebeiner, people,
Yeah,
so
I've
good for you.
Been struggling, always at the back of the pack, but I've enjoyed them all.
Just matters that you finish.
Yeah.
But let's talk about why we're here, Joe. And what's really special about this museum is the history of just the building behind it. So tell us about that building.
It was built as a Carnegie Library. It has a couple of claims to fame, I guess. It was built in 1905, funded by Carnegie, who funded many libraries actually throughout the world, many in the U.S. And the architect was a well-known architect in Madison, Wisconsin, the first professor of civil engineering when the university was formed. He designed this late in his career. Alan Conover was his name. And as I said, it opened in 1905. The second floor served various different purposes. It was a teacher's training school for a while. It even housed the Historical Society Museum for a while. And then the museum itself, the Historical Society, which existed since the 1920s, it moved around from various storefronts in town until 1997, when the city built a new library and the Historical Society decided they could take over this building, the entire building, and maintain it and run it as a museum. And they've been doing it. A group has been doing it since 1997. It's been a constant battle to repair it and to maintain it, but it's all been working very well. And we had the plan for many years to make it ADA compliant, handicapped accessible, and we finally, in this past year and a half, got going, and we built this new wing that's on this end of the building, which has an elevator, restrooms, and it's a really beautiful addition, I think, to the original building. The building itself is on the National Register of Historic Places.
Well, congratulations for the addition on the side.
Yeah, well, we're very pleased. There are a lot of people who did a lot of work on this, and fundraising especially.
Definitely. Well, while we're out here, Joe, I think we have to mention what's actually behind me right now.
Yes.
Tell me about this wooden building over here.
This log cabin was the first house in what would eventually become Antigo. It was built in 1877 by Francis de la Glise and some of his friends who constructed this cabin. He moved his family here from Appleton. He had fought in the Civil War, came back to Appleton. He was a surveyor and then and a timber cruiser. And he brought his family here. It's a small cabin. It's amazing to look at now, to think that he had his wife and 6 children moved into this house. This wasn't its original location. It stood a few blocks up the street on the banks of Spring Brook, which was the river that ran through here. That was their plumbing source. And in 1916, the cabin, by then vacated, was in the way of the building up of downtown. So the city decided to move it down here to the grounds of what was at that time the library. And people at the Wisconsin Historical Society have told me they think this is the first example of a community making an effort to preserve its history, the first in Wisconsin. And it's been moved around a little bit on the grounds here. It's been restored, and it's a big hit, especially with school groups, school kids who come here on tours. The cabin is one of the highlights.
So not only does Antigo have rich history, it has a rich history of preserving its history.
Yes, it does.
That
Exactly.
is really neat. Well, thank you for carrying on that tradition,
Okay.
Joe.
Well, I'm just part of a long tradition. and having
I know.
fun.
Well, I'm glad you're having fun. We're going to keep having fun on the show. Next time, we're going to stay outside of the museum. We're going to check out the train over there. We'll be right back.
Attention homeowners in Wausau, north central Wisconsin. It's time to finally do something about that old, outdated bath. Mad City, your window and bath partner of the Green Bay Packers, is Wisconsin's #1 remodeler. Your trusted local source for baths, tub-to-shower conversions, and walk-in tubs installed in as little as 1 day. Infused with Microban antimicrobial protection to resist mold and mildew. It's our spooktacular savings event. Save $400 with interest-free financing for 6 months and a $25 Walmart gift card with estimate. The call during this program will double your savings. Save $800 on a new bath or shower with 12 months interest-free financing and double it to a $50 Walmart gift card with your free in-home estimate. Plus, act now and get $250 in Mad City cash towards your next home improvement project. And ask about Mad City's Do More discount for extra savings on new EcoSky windows and custom kitchen cabinet refacing.
Everybody who's come over said that it looks nice.
They've all been very impressed, and several have joked that they're just going to come over and start using our bathroom instead of theirs now.
Make a great impression with a new bath, shower, or walk-in tub from Mad City Baths, installed in as little as 1 day. With attractive wall patterns like sandalwood and white slate, add grab bars, shelves, and a new shower door. Mad City is A+ rated with the BBB, more than 50,000 satisfied customers. And now it's our spooktacular savings event. Save $400, get interest-free financing for 6 months, and a $25 Walmart gift card with estimate. But call during this program and double your savings. Save $800 on a new bath or shower, 12 months interest-free financing, and double it to a $50 Walmart gift card with your free in-home estimate. Plus, receive $250 in Mad City cash towards future home improvements. Call 715-941-4238.
We're back on Up North at 4, continuing our tour of the Langlade County Historical Museum. Still here with Joe Hermelin. Joe, we got an impressive piece of history. Tell us about this.
This steam locomotive commemorates the role that the railroad played in Antigo's history. Antigo is kind of in the middle of nowhere. In the late 1800s, most of the traffic was along rivers, and there is a small river that runs through Antigo, but it wasn't significant enough for log drives and things like that. But when the railroad came in the 1880s, then Antigo took off. It was only a little cluster of homes at the time, but because you could ship goods in, people could come in and out by rail, then the city took off. The Chicago Northwestern, which eventually established itself here, buying out the Milwaukee, Lakeshore, and Western Railroad, which first came through here. And they made Antigo in around 1900, 1905. They made it the railroad hub for northern Wisconsin, for the Ashland Division, it was called. So that means this is, if you were coming from Milwaukee to Ashland, to the Michigan Upper Peninsula, to Minneapolis, here's where you change trains. Here's where they brought their locomotives for repairs. There was a huge ice house here where they stored ice from the lake just around the corner there. And so every air-conditioned car or refrigerated freight car for produce that ran through northern Wisconsin was refrigerated using ice from Antigo and stored in the Antigo ice house. So in the days of diesel, from about 1900 to the 1950s, the railroad was a major employer in Antigo. And I would say the majority of families living here had a family member working for the railroad. It was just such a predominant part. So the importance of the railroad began to decline in the 1950s as diesel was replacing steam locomotives. And now there's nothing really left of what used to be a major railroad hub, except for the depot, which has now been repurposed for apartments and commercial buildings, but it's still there. That's the only building left out of about 10 city blocks worth of buildings related to the railroad. And I think it was about 12 years ago, we bought this locomotive and restored it. It was quite a wreck at the time, as a sort of commemoration of the role that the railroad had in Antigo's history. And again, as with the cabin, this is a big hit with school kids who come here on field trips and visitors to Antigo. I'm surprised at how many kids, 8, 9-year-old kids, who probably have never even ridden on a railroad, are fascinated by this link to the past.
Well, I can understand, Joe, and it looks like you have steps so people can actually
they go
inside, which is really neat.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks so much, Joe.
Okay.
We're going to head inside the Langlade County Historical Museum. Next time in the show, we'll see you right after the break.
Goodwill starts with you when you shop the original Halloween headquarters. This season, as you get ready to open your door to mummies, princesses, and never-before-seen characters, shop Goodwill for great deals on one-of-a-kind Halloween costumes, decor, and more. Perfect for any ghoulish gathering. It's your purchases that also open doors to job training and opportunities, all while keeping items out of the landfill, making you a superhero to neighbors in our community. Goodwill starts with you.
Welcome to Patchouli Garden in Park Falls. We love authentic Indonesian patchouli and we specialize in our original custom blends. Everything with the Patchouli Garden name on it we make right here in our store. Visit Patchouli Garden in the store or online.
Think about your job. Now, imagine your new job. It is a possibility. If you're good at what you do, have confidence and drive, maybe it's time to go here. Good jobs need good people, and now's a very good time. Kosurik Automotive has good jobs waiting in Wausau, Stevens Point, and Rhinelander, and the bennies are bountiful. Check it out. It might be your time to fly.
Something scary is happening on Real.
Haunted, vampires, monsters.
It's Halloween week.
We should be terrified.
With creepy tales
One time I dressed up as...
you won't expect.
It worked. It was pretty good.
I bet she got lots of candy.
And big wins
40,000. Wow.
you won't forget. It's a spooky week.
In our house, we lower the voltage on our electric fence. We take it down to stun.
On Real.
Happy Halloween.
Wheel of Fortune, weeknights at 6:30 on NBC 12. Justin Betty and meteorologist Jeff Weller bring you the local news and weather from the North Woods alongside the WJFW Evening News Team. Watch Justin and Jeff weekday evenings at 5, 6, and 10 on News Watch 12.
We're backing up north at 4, continuing our tour of the Langlade County Historical Museum. Still here with Joe Hermelin. Joe, before we get to the main topic for the day, man, this place is beautiful, and it's a lot more beautiful than it was maybe a couple years ago. So
yes.
Tell me about that process.
Yeah, well, this was phase 2 of our renovation project, which has been going on now for over a year. And in here, what we've done is we've replaced the ceiling, which was acoustic tiles. Half of them were coming loose. And we've replaced the lighting which makes this place look a lot livelier, and the lighting is much more appropriate for showing the displays that we have here in the museum. This is the main floor. We have an upstairs and a downstairs. They're still a bit of a work in progress, so we can't really tour that yet. But the main part of the museum is this floor, and we're really quite pleased with the way things turned out.
Yeah, like I said earlier, definitely impressive how far this place has come. Let's talk about what we're really standing in the midst of is an impressive collection of Native American history. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, we have quite a collection of beadwork, and this was all due to one person who collected a lot of this and donated it to the museum. And we've written about it, we've done presentations, we sometimes lent some of this material out to other museums, but in my opinion, it's one of our prize items in our collection. We have, I think, 4 bandolier bags here, which they would take about a year to produce. These are glass beads that are sewn onto fabric, and they were worn on ceremonial occasions. And then we have a number of other items, decorated moccasins, belts that were used in ceremonial occasions. And that, to me, is one of the prized things we have in this museum.
Okay, well, thanks so much, Joe. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to talk about moonshining, so stay tuned for that. We'll be right back. We are back on Up North at 4, continuing our tour of the Langlade County Historical Museum. Still here with Joe Hermelin. Joe, tell me everything. Let's talk about moonshining in the Antigo area. Can you start from the beginning?
Well, this is, again, it's a long story, and I don't know all of it, but during Prohibition, this area, rural Langlade County, was a well-known moonshining area. There were some rural towns where I guess it was the main industry. Prohibition came in, I think, 1919. Yes, 1919. And at the time, there were 2 breweries in Antigo. They quickly went out of business. But it didn't take long for people to make up for it with this moonshine. And so we have a number of items of memorabilia left over from the moonshine era, like these stills, and some photographs up on a wall here. And I really can't tell you too much more about these people. Obviously didn't publicize too much about what they were doing, but I know one big town, one big location was the town of Ormsby, was a major moonshining focus in this area.
So right behind this moonshine display, we have some logging displays. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I think this is fairly typical of northern Wisconsin, is that it was logging in the years after the Civil War that attracted people here, well, I should say white men settlers. There were Native Americans here long before that. But it was the logging industry that brought people to this area, and it was also a major industry in Langlade County. In fact, it still is. Forest products are a major part of the economy. I'd like to show one item. Logs were cut, this is before the railroad, logs were cut in the winter, taken down to the river's edge. This is mostly in the eastern part of the county near the Wolf River, and in the spring they would start log drives. And each little lumber company, they had their own sort of stamp hammer. Logs were marked just like branding irons, and then when they were floated downriver to the mills, then you could sort out who was the owner of which log and who would get paid for the logs. There were also some stories about people sawing off the part of the that had the brand and then rebranding it with their own. So there was a little bit of skullduggery going on in that too. But here is one example of, I call it a branding iron, but it was a stamp that you would put on logs before floating them downstream.
Okay, I had seen some of those at the Merrill Hister Museum,
Oh, yeah.
so it's interesting to see this one as well.
There's an amazing collection at the Menominee, I think it's in Kashina, Logging Museum. They have a big collection of these.
Okay. Thank you again, Joe. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to talk about a device that I had never seen before. Maybe people Joe's age know a little bit more about it, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll be right back.
Different ideas for shopping this year? Both your wishes can come true when you buy the diamond of her dreams from Wickersham Jewelry during their Diamonds and Deer event, November 1st through the 6th. She gets the diamond she's always wanted, and you get free hunting gear from one of your favorite outdoor stores, Bullseye Sports Shop, Charlie's Hardware, or Mills Trading Post. Take advantage of interest-free financing during this spectacular event. Wickersham Jewelry, where everyone's dreams come true.
For Pete K, whose health benefits are, thankfully, way better than his outdoorsman skills, we've got you. For Jackie R, who's added umpteen flower pots now that her allergy meds are covered, we've got you. For Charlie M, who's covered by a team of experts so he can be first to the finish at his next race, we've got you. For everything that happens to happen, we've got you. Aspirus Health Plan.
The new LDF Country Market in Lac du Flambeau offers families the freshest meats, produce, bakery, and groceries. Take a closer look and you'll find a smoke shop, beer cave, deli, and liquor all under one roof, with convenient fueling stations just outside. Add Native American arts and crafts and you'll enjoy a unique, spacious shopping experience found nowhere else. Shop the new LDF Country Market today. Get what you need so you can get back to what you enjoy.
BBD Sports Shop is your one-stop headquarters for everything outdoors this summer. They have turkey calls, decoys, and more from HS Strut, Mojo, and Woodhaven. Food plot seed and mineral from Big & J, Real Deal, Big Time, and Whitetail Magic. Rifles, handguns, and shotguns in stock from Springfield, Mossberg, Glock, Ruger, and Savage. And a wide variety of Big Bear Down scent sprays and bear bait by the bag, by the barrel, and by the truckload. 2 convenient Wisconsin locations or online at bigbeardown.com.
All right, it's that time now for our final check-in with your forecast. Coming up for tonight will be a very similar night that we had on Monday night, getting down again to those upper 20s under mostly clear skies, a few passing clouds into overnights. The winds will get a little bit breezy coming out of the southeast near 5 to 15 miles an hour and getting a little more breezy into Wednesday. We'll be keeping up with more cloud coverage during the day, most areas staying dry, and temperatures again pretty comparable to what we had today, up again into those low 50s. I'll have more of your full forecast coming up at 5 o'clock, but for now, here we go to Jeopardy!